Hey everyone, I am getting ready to head to the coffee shop for a little sketching today. Grabbing my art supplies. I think Charlie's going to stay home. Today we are heading to another coffee shop and I'm going to show you the art supplies that I'm bringing with me. It's just a matter of trying to get used to sketching in public. Personally, I'm an introvert. I find I'm a little shy, especially when, drawing in public. But what I noticed yesterday when we went to the coffee shop was that nobody's paying attention. Nobody's paying attention to whether you're recording, drawing, whatever it is you're doing. It's just that feeling of nervousness of drawing in public. And I'm trying to get out of the safety of always being in my art studio. So I'm going to flip the camera around and show you the art supplies I'm bringing, and then we're going to head to the coffee shop, and I hope you join me. I am trying to narrow down the art supplies that I'm going to be taking. I want to keep it simple, so I have moved some of the art supplies over to the table, and I'm going to go over them. Ones that I do like as well are these, but now I really have to narrow it down to what I want to take. I want it to be quick and easy and sort of incognito. I don't want people seeing me take out a whole bunch of art supplies in the coffee shop. I want to narrow it down and just keep minimum supplies with me when I head to the coffee shop. I want to be incognito when I'm sketching. This month in my Patreon, we are working on color mixing, mark making, and layering colors. So I'm going to pick some colors from this selection of art supplies, which is my Faber-Castell crayons or gelatos, whatever you want to call them. I'm going to leave the Woody Stabilos home, but I am going to take some Neocolors and some tempera paint sticks and my ink brush pen. I want to keep it simple for the sake of traveling light with my art supplies. And I don't have a fancy container, so I'm going to be putting this all in the baggie. It has to fit in the baggie or I'm not taking it. Okay, so I have chosen my art supplies. They all fit in this little baggie. I did take a Stabilo. I switched out the brush pen for this Faber-Castell Pitt pen. I just figure it might be easier. And I'm taking this little teeny tiny field notebook. This isn't about having some fancy sketchbook. I'm taking just a tiny, tiny field notebook with me because it fits perfectly in my little baggie. The goal today is to overcome anxiety while filming yourself sketching in public or just sketching in public in general. So I feel like if everything fits in this little baggie, I am good to go. Let's see how this works. I took the time to find a comfortable place to place my camera so it wouldn't be so obvious that I was recording myself in public. Going into a coffee shop and drawing and sketching at the table while also recording yourself can be super, super overwhelming. So you can see me trying to get comfortable here, and it didn't take long before I got into the swing of things, but that nervousness kept coming back. When you're drawing people in public, I think one of the keys is to do it super fast. And so accept that your drawings aren't going to be the best because you're trying to be comfortable while also drawing and sketching in a public place. And if you have, if you're shy or introverted, this is sort of quite a challenge to become accustomed to. This wasn't a coffee shop that was in an area where there's going to be so many people coming through. It was more one of those places where it's a lot of business people coming through. So if I went after business hours, after 4 p.m., I knew there wouldn't be a lot of people there, and I was right. There was a handful of people there, enough that I could draw people without being too obvious. That's why I drew so fast, but also not being overwhelmed by having so many people there. And that really helped me gaining the comfort level of drawing in public. So I'm back at home now, and I would say that was so much fun. I realized that even if you're going out and sketching, that people aren't even looking at you. They don't even know what you're doing. They're involved in their own thing. I am going to give 5 tips though for sketching in public if you have anxiety or if you've never done it before. I'm really happy that I brought a very small amount of art supplies, a really limited palette. I actually forgot blue. I'm going to walk you through the drawings that I did, and I also took some photos throughout that I'm going to include in a blog post that I will link to in the description and the comment section, so you can check it out. It's on my Patreon. But yeah, lots of photos that I'm going to share so that if you want to draw and you're not ready to go to the coffee shop, you have some photo references. So some tips for sketching in public would be, the first one is, again, the limited palette. Just bring a few small things, just even a pencil and paper. The other thing is, if you're nervous about sketching in public, having just a teeny tiny sketchbook helps. Neither one of these sketchbooks is an actual sketchbook. This one is a field notebook, and I didn't actually use it because it was just, in my opinion, I like sketching tiny, but this was too small for me in the coffee shop to be drawing. So I ended up going with this one, just another notebook. And this is what I drew most of my pictures in that I'm going to go through with you. And even though I didn't have blue when I got home, I colored in the blue. I couldn't believe that I forgot blue. So keep your palette limited. The other thing is I really like these Faber-Castell crayons and my Neocolor crayons, Neocolor 1s or 2s, but you can use any crayons or markers. It's just so much easier. These cover a lot of page quickly. What is the third thing? I have notes here. The third thing is focus on your sketching and not the people around you. That's very hard to do if you are feeling nervous about sketching in public. It took me a while to warm up, and you saw that in the video. It's almost, when I look at the video, it's kind of funny when I'm sipping on the coffee, or, you could see me sort of looking around. I felt really sort of nervous, but as soon as that let go and I got into the drawing, I completely forgot about any of it. People were walking by, nobody stopped to stare or anything like that. It wasn't anything like that. I think of coffee shops, people are working or having conversations, they're involved in their own thing. So focus on your sketch. It might take a little while to sort of let go of the nervousness, but eventually that happened and I really got into it. I probably could have stayed there a lot longer than I did. Oh, the other thing that I have written down is messy sketches. Like, you have to forgive any bad sketches that you do simply because sketch quickly, don't expect perfection, let go of all of that because you've got a couple of things going on. You're in a different environment, you're feeling a little nervous, there's a lot going on, and it takes a while to get into it. So there's definitely going to be some warm-up sketches. The other thing you could do that I also did was I did a few sketches before I left. Like, I looked up photos online and did a few sketches before I left so I could be comfortable just turning the page, and had a couple of sketches in before I started sketching. I definitely was sketching the people around me as well, which was really fun, but hard to do if you're doing it quickly. People are like, everybody's moving around. My final one would be, even if you go for 5 minutes and you do a sketch or some scribbles and then you leave because you're feeling uncomfortable, at least you got out of your comfort zone and you went somewhere different and you tried something new. And it gets easier and easier. So yesterday was my second time going out to a coffee shop, and I felt more comfortable yesterday than I did the day before. So I'm going to continue on doing this. I can't wait to do it again. It was way more fun than I thought. I really enjoyed all the busyness around me. I really enjoyed listening to all the chatter and just seeing what all the people were doing. It was just really nice. So I'm definitely going to be doing it again. I'm going to flip the camera over and show you my sketches. They are so imperfect, but I'm still super proud that I went out in public and tried again, had all my art supplies, my sketchbook on the table, and I did it. So I encourage you to also do it. Let's flip this over so I can show you my sketches. This is the sketchbook that I use. Like I said, it's just a regular sketchbook, and I did some sketching, random sketching in it yesterday. This was the drawing that I did before I left for the coffee shop, so you could see it doesn't look like the Starbucks that I went to. It was just a random photo that I saw online. But then I drew this one. This is my daughter who sat in front of me, and then the person in the back who was serving coffee. I'm not too caught up in the details, especially as I'm just trying to get comfortable with it. I do like how I did the coffee shop. It's just nice gestural loose lines and coloring some things in, but also leaving, space around it that's not colored in. I do think that having a notebook is nice because there's those lines in the background, so it's not blank. One day I'll probably bring watercolor in, but for now this is, my preference. I had to draw the blue in after because, well, I forgot blue. But this was coffee and a person sitting, off to the side and the windows with the blue. I really like how that one turned out, and I like that I put the steam there. Obviously, this isn't my hand because I don't wear nail polish. And I actually put nails there when I shouldn't have. I was just trying to practice drawing, someone holding a coffee cup. I do have a photo reference that I'm going to include in the blog post, where the link is going to be in the description in the comments, so you can access like the photo references. And this was a lady that served coffee, and a lot of times there were drinks on the table, or that the counter. So I drew that. And I like that there's that Starbucks sign. That Starbucks sign was kind of interesting to draw a couple of times. I kept it really loose, not worried about perfection. Behind the baristas, there's always a lot of things, usually bags of coffee and that kind of thing. I didn't want to try to get into the details just because I was drawing too quickly. But I will say I enjoyed taking photos that I could use as a reference for, when you get home and you need something to draw and you want to draw what you saw in the coffee shop, but you didn't necessarily want to spend hours in the coffee shop. This was my favorite drawing. I also drew some stuff yesterday. Again, it was just really, really quick because I was nervous. But I think as you become more comfortable, your drawings will get better. This was obviously not a drawing of the coffee shop, but although I didn't have too many, I really enjoyed it. I'd love to hear from you what your tips are for getting comfortable drawing in a coffee shop or getting comfortable drawing in public. Let me know. I hope you all have a wonderful day and happy sketching.